Welcome to the Crochet Hook channel. In this video, we will see step by step how to prepare this elegant, colorful crochet top. This is a unisex crochet top and so it can be worn both by the boys as well as girls. I used 3 colors of cotton yarn with a crochet hook of 2.5 millimeters to make it. You can use colors, yarn and crochet hook of your choice. This is apt for the season of spring and summer. I began making it from the neckline and went down to prepare the length of the top. If you like my style and my work, please do like, share and subscribe. So let's go ahead and see how to prepare this top. To begin round 1, make a slip knot. And chain 140. I prefer to make a small number of chains in the beginning. Pull up a loop. Insert the hook into the very first chain. And again into the pulled loop. Tighten the loop and begin making the rest of the chains. This keeps the work untwisted and is easy to join in the end. Just keep chaining until reach a number of 140. Now I have chained 140 already and just make a slip stitch to join the circle. Now chain 5. Make 1 DC in the 5th chain from hook. This begins our second round. This makes a small V. Nextly, chain 2 and we'll skip 4 chains and into the 5th chain make a small V. A small V is made up of 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC in the same chain space. Again chain 2 and skip 4 chains and into the 5th chain make a small V stitch, 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC into the same chain space. Chain 2, skip 4 chains, into the 5th chain, 1 small V stitch, 1 DC, chain 2, 1 DC. We have reached the end of round 2. Now we have 4 chains to skip. So chain 2 and slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the first V stitch. Like this. Now begin our 3rd round. Slip stitch into the V stitch. And chain 4. This chain 4 counts as first triple DC, first triple crochet, and begin making 8 triple crochets into the same small V space. Chain 4 and 8 triple crochets in the first V count as 9 triple crochets. Now, this shell contains 9 triple crochets. Now in the second V, make a small V, 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC into the same V space. Into the next V, we'll be making 9 triple crochets. So in the round 3, we made 9 triple crochets in one V and a small V in the next, all the way round. Now we have reached the end of round 2. So in the last V, make a small V stitch, 1 DC, chain 2, 1 DC. And just slip stitch into the 4th chain. Like this. This completes our round 3. At this point, I'll separate the shoulder from the body. I'll put stitch markers into the small V's. So put a stitch marker into a small V, and I'll be taking 4 shells for the front and 4 for the back, 3 shells for the shoulders. So leave 3, put a stitch marker, leave 4, put a stitch marker into the small V, leave 3, put a stitch marker into the small V. Like this, the shoulder and the front and back body is separated. Now to begin the round 4, we'll slip stitch 4 times. Slip stitch very lightly 4 times. 1, 2, 3 and 4 to reach the top of the shell, that is the 5th triple crochet, the center of the shell. And here chain 5. And a DC in the same space. This makes a small V at the top of the shell. Chain 2 and make a big V stitch into the next small V. A big V is made by making a triple crochet, chain 2 and a triple crochet into the same space. This makes a big V stitch. Now chain 2 again, and at the top of the shell make a small V stitch into the 5th triple crochet. 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC into the same space. Chain 2 again, make a big V stitch into the next V. 1 triple crochet, chain 2 and 1 triple crochet into the same V space. And we'll continue all along like this. A small V at the top of the shell, chain 2, a big V into the next V, chain 2, a small V at the top of the shell, and like that. And now I've reached the marker which I separated, which we put for the separation of the shoulder. So into the small we just take out the marker, and into the small V make a big V stitch, a triple crochet, chain 2 and a triple crochet. I'll do it one more time. A triple crochet, chain 2, a triple crochet. That makes our first big V stitch. Chain 1 as the separation, and then again one more big V stitch into the same space. A triple crochet, chain 2 and a triple crochet. So this is our corner. This is how it looks like. We have 2 big V stitches separated by a chain. Now chain 2 again and make a small V at the top of the next shell. 1 DC, chain 2, 1 DC, chain 2 and a big V stitch into the next V stitch. 1 triple crochet, chain 2 and 1 triple crochet. Chain 2, a small V stitch at the top of the shell, that is into the 5th triple crochet of the shell, and a small V made. Chain 2, a big V stitch into the next V. Chain 2, a small V at the top of the shell. And make the corner just the same way. as we made here. This is the first corner made. One big V, a chain for separation, and a big V in the same V space. And for all other 3 corners, we'll be making the same way. Now I've reached the stitch marker, so just remove it and like a previous corner, yarn over twice, make a big V stitch, a triple crochet, chain 2, a triple crochet, chain 1, and a big V stitch again into the same space, a triple crochet, chain 2, and a triple crochet. This makes the second corner, chain 2, and a small V at the top of the shell, 1 DC, chain 2, 1 DC. So here, this is how a 4th round will continue, like all round. Now reach the end here, end of round 4. And we'll just slip stitch into the chain 3 of the first V. Now to begin round 5, slip stitch to get into the V and chain 5. Make 1 DC into the same V space. This makes a small V at the top of the small V, and now into the next V. Make 9 triple crochets, yarn over twice, now into the next V. Make a small V, 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC. So here we began making one small V at the top of a small V, a shell in the next V, and a small V in the next V. Now after continuing like that, I've reached the corner, and into this corner we have two big V stitches separated by a chain. So make 9 triple crochets into the first big V stitch. Leave the chain 1 space, chain 1. Into the next big V, we'll be making 9 triple crochets. So into the next big V, 9 triple crochets again. This makes a corner of round 5. So basically we have two shells separated by a chain. First shell was made in first big V stitch. We left the one chain space, chained one, and made another shell into the. Now we have reached the end of round 5. So we'll just slip stitch into the third chain like this. To begin round 6, get into the V stitch by making a slip stitch like this. Chain 6 and into the same V space, make 1 triple crochet. This makes a big V stitch at the top of the small V stitch. Chain 2 and at the top of the shell, into the 5th triple crochet, make 1 small V stitch, 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC. Chain 2 again. Into the next V stitch, make 1 big V stitch. So make 1 triple crochet, chain 2 and 1 triple crochet into the same V space. So we have reached at one of the corner of round 6, having made this big V. Chain 2 and make a small V at the top of the shell, first corner shell, 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC at the top of the 5th triple crochet of the first corner shell, chain 2, into this chain 1 space between the shells, make 1 big V stitch, 1 triple crochet, chain 2, 1 triple crochet. This makes 1 big V stitch, chain 1 as the separation, and 1 more big V stitch in the same space, 1 triple crochet, chain 2 and 1 triple crochet, chain 2 So here we have one small V stitch at the top of the shell, first corner shell, chain 2. In the chain 1 space between the shells we have 2 big V stitches separated by a chain, chain 2, and one small V stitch at the top of the next corner shell, 1 DC, chain 2, 1 DC. In all the corners of round 6 we will proceed the same way. And I've reached the end, so chain 2 and slip stitch into the 4th chain. Into the 4th chain, just slip stitch to join the round. To begin round 7, get into the V stitch by making a slip stitch like this. Chain 4. Into the same V space make 8 triple crochets. Into the next V stitch, make one small V stitch, 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC in the same V space. Into the next big V stitch, make 9 triple crochets. Make a small V stitch in the next V stitch, 1 DC, chain to 1 DC. Now here we have the corner of round 7. Having made this shell, before the corner, make one small V stitch in the next V stitch, 1 DC, chain 2, 1 DC in the same V space. Into this first big V stitch, make 9 triple crochets. Leave this chain 1 space, chain 1, leave this space. Into the next big V stitch, make 9 triple crochets. So here we have our first corner made. This is the first shell of the corner. In the first big V, leave this chain 1 space. Into the next big V, chain 1 and make 9 triple crochets. And we'll proceed ahead as we used to do in the beginning of round 7. So basically here we are making 9 triple crochets in the big V's and a small V at the top of the small V, 9 triple crochets in the big V and a small V at the top of the small V, and so on all round the round 7.